After we had our goal, we came up with a design on the whiteboard. After we came up with our design, we started to break it into two components for the building phase. I took on building the catapult. Alex took on building the roller coaster part of the Rube Goldberg machine. Once we had our building complete, we started programming. We had to program 2 NXTs with one motor on each of those and a touch sensor to start the machine. After programming, we didn't have to test the programming too much, but we had to test the ramp, meaning the catapult. So that took a lot of rethinking and repositioning of our parts. So that was the majority of our RCLC, was the positioning of the ramp, meeting the catapult. And after that, we decided to play.
Alright, for science, we were first figuring out the rotations to properly catch the ball, because we were having trouble doing that. We also, for the ball catcher, we found 45 degrees was the optimal angle for launching the ball. And for the rotation sensors, for this one right here, we just used 30 degrees to lift up and 30 degrees to go down. And then for technology, we used the touch sensor to activate our Rube Goldberg machine to start it so the ball can drop down and catch it, and the ball catcher to launch from the catapult. We used engineering to design the ball roller coaster and the catapult. For arts, it's our own design, so that's what we thought was aesthetically pleasing. And for soft skills, we communicated with each other, helping each other when we needed help and suggesting improvements on our own section of the build and when we collaborated to put it together. So what we designed right here is a simple touch button. When you press the button, it's going to turn on the LEDs. So that was our goal to do, our design. We drew it on fritzing to make sure everything was sound and set. From there, we started constructing it, which you see here. And it's all color coded. The green ones for the red buttons are for the GPL pins. The orange ones are for the white GPL pins. The green ones are for, there's actually the two white ones are for the GPL pin for the touch sensors, the blue one is for the negative, and the white is for the positive. And then when we tested it, we just had a little bit of trouble connecting the wires correctly, so that's what we were troubleshooting. Once we got the wires correct, we were able to get our program correctly. When we thought about it, we thought, how can we improve this project? So we improved it by when you press the button, it's going to slowly light up the LEDs in sequence. And when we played with it, we started checking our project to work. When it worked, we were complete.
So we incorporated themes into our project, first of all with science, using computer science and programming to make our project work. For technology, we used a lot of hardware. As you can see, we have a breadboard, LED lights, male to female wires, as well as male to male wires, and a Raspberry Pi that it is all programmed through. For engineering, we use engineering to set up the board correctly, connecting the wires in the proper places. For art, we just focus on our placement of the lights and try to make it aesthetically pleasing by spacing them out nicely and not letting them get all tangled up in the wires. For math, we had to use math to use the time.sleep function, which will allow the lights to turn on in a succession, so they don't all turn on at once. They'll turn on one at a time when the button's pressed. For soft skills, once again, we had to work together and delegate the tasks to each other, so one person wasn't doing all the work and we were both contributing equally to the project. Here's the white lights, and now the red.
So when we created our program, we first imported our PI GPIO as GPIO to let the Raspberry Pi know that we were using its GPIO. We also imported time, which would delay the LEDs from turning on. this segment here and that segment here. So when we press the button, they'll turn on in sequence and won't turn on all at the same time. Right here where it says set up pins, we were setting up our pins. The two ins, which is GPIO7 and GPIO11, are for the two touch sensors that we have, and the rest are for the LED. And when we went to the loop, so if GPIO input 7, which is the first touch sensor, is pressed, it's going to light up the red, and if the second, which is under GPIO 11, it's going to light up the white, and else if neither of the buttons are pressed, everything's going to be false, so it's going to be off.